How many more paychecks a year will you receive if your employer switches from semi-monthly to bi-weekly payments? All right, let's follow our think, plan, solve method. So let's think about what the question is asking us. How many more paychecks a year will you receive if your employer switches from semi-monthly to bi-weekly payments? So what do we know from this? Well, we know that we must be currently being paid semi-monthly. So it might be a good idea for us to know the number of checks, the number of checks when we're paid semi-monthly. And it says they're switching to bi-weekly. So we're going to need to know the number of checks paid bi-weekly. Okay? So we need to know how many more paychecks will we get. So our goal is to solve for a number of paychecks. How many more will we receive after this switch? So here's our plan. We're going to calculate the number of checks paid on a semi-monthly basis. We're going to calculate the number of checks paid on a bi-weekly basis, and then we're going to compare them. So they've told us how many more will you get if your employer switches from semi-monthly to bi-weekly. So to figure out how many more, we have to compare. So the number more is going to be the number of bi-weekly, and we'll subtract off the number that you would get when paid semi-monthly, and that will tell us how many more we're going to get. So when you're paid semi-monthly, that means you're paid twice a month. So when you're paid twice a month, and there are 12 months, that means a person paid semi-monthly gets paid 24 times a year. Now bi-weekly means every 2 weeks. There are 52 weeks in a year. If we get paid in half of those weeks, that means we get paid 26 times a year. So how many more? Well, bi-weekly is 26, semi-monthly is 24. So the answer is 2. We'll get 2 additional paychecks if we're paid bi-weekly versus semi-monthly. Okay, so we thought through the information that was given to us. We focused on what the question was asking us to solve for. We planned out how we would get to our solution. We carried out the plan. That was the solve process. And now I just double check, was there any rounding that took place? No, not in this case. Is it a reasonable answer? Yes, it is. I'm done. So the answer is you would be paid 2 more times if you had an employer who switched from semi-monthly to bi-weekly payments.